campus of Southwestern Assembly of God University. Rob Price here with my partner Devin Gwines. Today it's volleyball in action again as your Lady Lions take on the Oklahoma Baptist Lady Bisons. 17, I should say, yeah, number 8 in the nation, I should say, number 8 in the nation, Lady Bisons. So they are coming in ready to keep that 14 winning game streak alive. 24-4 overall, 10-0, Devin, in conference play. Meanwhile, your Lady Lions 14-11 overall and 7-4 in conference play. Right now, Lady Lions in third place, comfortably in third place, behind the two stalwarts, Wayland Baptist and Oklahoma Baptist.
Now, Southwestern is in that comfortable third place, and we've got 5 games remaining, but all 5 of those are against teams that are likely to qualify for the postseason tournament. And in the first pass of this season, SAGU went 1-4 against these opponents, so we're not going into this lightheartedly. We know how much pressure is on these games, and we've been putting a lot of pressure on tonight's game too. Now, why is tonight such a big match? The Lady Lions can definitely clinch their spot in the SAC tournament if they defeat OBU tonight. The other way this can happen is if St. Gregory's playing OKC University falls short and loses to OKC tonight.
And they play tonight as well.
Right, and that'll be the other way that SAGU can really clinch that spot. Now, it would be a huge accomplishment to nail down by beating OBU tonight because they are such big competition for us, and especially as it's our first time being a member of the SAC.
It'd be a great way to welcome ourselves to the conference by qualifying, indeed. Well, look at it, OBU, they rank either number 1 or number 2 in 6 major stats. Now, check these numbers out. They're really quite impressive. Number 1 in kills percent, 15.2. Number 2 in hitting percentage at a 202 clip. Assist percent, 12.1. Digs percent, 18.6 a set. Blocks percent, 2.4. And just for good measure, number 3 in the last step with serve aces per set. We'll be back more with some SAGU stats in just a minute, but first, let's take you over to Tyler Evans, who's standing by with our head coach, Hank Moore.
Coach, earlier this season, you took OBU to a total of 4 sets in Shawnee. Tell me, what are we going to have to do tonight to take those extra steps and pull out a strong win?
In order for us to beat a team like OBU, we're going to have to hit the ball really well. At OBU, our hitting percentage was less than 100. It wasn't very good. And we still competed. They're a very strong team. We're going to have to play great defense.
Now, with 5 tough games to go, what are we going to have to do to make that final push into the tournament strong?
Well, in order to get a real good ranking in the tournament, we're going to have to win at least 3 of those 5 and get in there. Right now, I think we're in no matter what happens mathematically as the 6th seed, but to move up in the rankings, we're going to have to knock some people off.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in tonight's game. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Coach. So you heard it from Coach. He is ready to make the move here with 5 games remaining. And let's talk about the stats now. OBU dominates, but as you're about to tell us, SAGU isn't that far behind in some of the stats.
Right, Robin, and OBU stats really are impressive. But SAGU, now let's look at these. SAGU holds the number 1 ranking in digs per set in the SAC, averaging 18.8 digs per game. And we're number 3 in the 14 stat categories. 1, hitting percentage, hitting right at 190. Kills per set, averaging 12.5. Assists per set, 11.2, and blocks, 1.8. And we are also calling it a respectable number 5 in the conference in service aces per set, averaging about 1.5 aces per set.
Numbers say OBU should win the match. They're riding a 14-game winning streak, but Lady Lions have found their stride playing their best volleyball this season, so you got to play the match. It's the reason you lace them up and play. So, serious note. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
In this last match that we saw OBU, SAGU really did fall in important categories, making many errors. And we'll take a quick look at stats on that. In the last game against OBU, SAGU committed 29 errors to just 33 kills. And Taylor Calverley only had 25 assists, which is really low. Actually, it's the lowest in conference play this season, seeing as she always gets the ball out to these hitters. And
very unlike her to have that low of an output.
Exactly, and we only had 7 total team blocks. Jessica Sodich and Faith Harden, 2 powerhouse hitters for the Lady Lions, had negative hitting percentages, which is extremely rare. And Cassie Cox led the team with only 11 kills.
Good news is that OBU has been taken to 4 or 5 sets in 6 of their last 8 matches, so they're beatable. They're good. We've seen them warm up. You were just saying before we went on the air, they're good. Just watching them hit, they're good. So
right.
Let's look at the key players for SAGU side.
Against this team, we do have to play really strong defense, especially on the front row. So our 3 key players to watch tonight for the Lady Lions are no stranger to the broadcast. Number 8, Mackenzie Criddle, just a freshman, 8 total blocks, 7 assisted and 1 solo in the last 5 matches. Faith Harden, another freshman with 14 total blocks. And Cassie Cox, our senior, number 11, with 24 total blocks, 21 assisted and 3 of those solo blocks.
Those are the 3 players up the middle. You know, Sodich is going to be a factor as well, but the players you mentioned, Criddle, Harden, Cox, those are the truly big, tall hitters that you just mentioned, so it's going to be a big important. For the Lady Bison, it starts and ends really with senior Kristen Presley, number 2 in the NAIA in kills per set at 4.5, named the NAIA Player of the Week twice this season already, has won 2 Sooner Player of the Week awards. She's a 2-time All-American. We have an All-American playing in our game tonight from Mansfield, Texas, just up the road here from Waxahachie. She's the career leader in kills, recently just passed 2,000 kills for her career. Behind her, freshman Allison Mock leads the team with 1 block per set. The team in total ranked 13 in the entire NAIA in blocks per set. And then junior Ezgi Guni, she leads the team in assists, 6.3 from Istanbul, Turkey. Splitting time with other setter Rachel Aguilar, but Guni making her time count for sure. Talk back to Presley for a second. I talked with Coach Hank Moore a couple hours ago, and he said, Rob, we know she's deadly, Presley, going down the line. So what he's going to do is they're going to cheat the lines. They're going to push the middle blocker over and basically try to prevent Presley from taking that down the line shot. So where does that leave things in the back row?
Now, the front row defense and back row defense always are playing hand in hand. So it's going to be really important if we're switching up that front row defense that the back row fills the hole on the block, because we're leaving all of cross court wide open if we're blocking down the line. So it's going to be really important that we have a full team defense, not just on the front row. It's going to be the back row filling in those holes and really picking up the slack of that cross court shot. And we have to make Presley beat us. That's what the goal is. We want the other hitters to really step up, so Presley will be shut down, but she'll have to really, really play to beat us tonight.
It's a lot harder to do that in volleyball than in, say, basketball, where you could double, sometimes even triple team a player and shut one man down. A lot harder in volleyball, but Coach Hank Moore has surveyed the scene and said we have to at least try to slow Presley down. So we're just a moment away from getting underway here at the Schaefer Center. We'll be right back after this break here watching the SAGU Sports Network.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Bisons. At center, junior number 3 is Giguni. Outside hitter, sophomore number 9, Carrie Strong. Defensive specials, junior number 10, Caitlin Lucy. Outside hitter, senior number 11, Kristen Presley. Outside hitter, sophomore number 13, Catherine Roper. Middle blocker, freshman number 19, Lacey Herbert. And at libero, junior number 12, Valerie Stetzer. Head coach is Anna Howard. And now the starting lineups for your SAGU Lady Lions. At outside hitter, junior from Arlington, Texas, number 5, Jessica Sodich. At middle hitter, sophomore from Kenmore, Washington, number 6, J.J. Abbott. At middle hitter, freshman from Lake Livingston, Texas, number 8, Mackenzie Criddle. At center, senior from Mansfield, Texas, number 9, Taylor Calverley. At middle hitter, senior from Lufkin, Texas, number 11, Cassie Cox. At middle hitter, freshman from Midlothian, Texas, number 14, Faye Harden. And at libero, sophomore from Red Oak, Texas, number 2, Emily Smith. Head coaches Hank Moore, assistant coaches are Jordan Sutherland and Amanda Laney. Officials for tonight's game are Graham Mottle and Luce Dixon.
And welcome to the Schaefer Center. It's time to play some volleyball here, Devin. Look at this series match. They've only played actually just 21 points. And so, yeah, in fact, the last time they played, Coach Moore told me earlier that only 18 points total separated the entire match. So that's about 4.5 points a game. That's a close match.
And that proves that this is really going to be an important match to get started right at the beginning on getting each play really, really solidified as a full team.
First point will go to Lady Bison from Shawnee, Oklahoma.
And in this next serve, we got OBU on that first play. And we've got a pretty simple serve by OBU, and we're switching up the speed here on Lady Lions' side. And it'll be important to watch as we see number 11, Presley, their star hitter, switching up that block. And now we've got the Lady Lions with that kill. In comes number 10, Brittany Briggs, a senior from Maypearl, Texas. We've got Presley, number 11 for OBU on that kill. Cassie Cox and Taylor Calverley on that block, setting up outside. Two of our strongest blockers for the Lady Lions going up against OBU's strongest outside.
2-1 score here. OBU with an early lead. Here's Harden. Cross court, deep cross court winner. It's good. It finds about the farthest back you could go, Devin. Nice play from Harden.
Alyssa Kirk will be another player for the Lady Lions that'll be important to watch tonight. She's a strong defensive player for us on the back row, so it'll be interesting to see if she can really read that block like we were talking about in pregame.
And there's Kristen Presley with an off-speed kill shot. Lady Bison up 3-2 early. Nice play from Calverley.
It's hard as a setter, and Calverley on the front row getting that shot, a pass so close to the net, she goes up to dump it like she just did and touch the net, giving the ball to OBU. It's really hard to be aggressive, but to stay out of the net at the same time.
Slide, and it works. Taylor sets up Cox beautifully on that right side slide. One of Calverley to Cox's favorite combination works again. Here's the senior Becca Dollar. That barely cleared the net. And some miscommunication from Patricia Murrah. Couldn't get out of the way in time. And we'll take a free point. That's a miscue from the green and white. 4-4. And boy, that's just a smart heads-up play. No power needed there. Presley with some great court awareness.
Now, we've seen that Presley, and we've heard, too, that Presley's a really strong hitter, but that play demonstrated that she really is a smart player, too, like you said. Being able to view the court, not only be a strong hitter and just be able to hit the ball hard, but to look at where to place it comes in handy and is so important as a strong offensive player.
She'll attempt the back row kill shot. Now, Sodas from the left side, cross court, dump, set, perfect location right near the 10-foot line. No one there to pick it up or dig it out. Lions will turn the ball back over to OBU. Here's Presley, the All-American. The nice serve. Nice dig from Smith. Sodich keeps it alive. And it's going to find the line. Nice front court play there from the Lady Bison.
And we've seen the Lady Bison have been able to switch up where they're placing the ball on the court. They've placed several in front of the 10-foot line, a couple right at center court at the 10-foot line, and that play all the way deep to the back line, just barely making it in.
Here's a backcourt attempt from Kirk. That one sails deep. And a timeout on the floor. Coach Hank Moore wants to talk things over as Lady Bison have doubled up the Lady Lions early here, just a few minutes into set number 1, 8-4. Anything you see early on, besides, of course, Presley making her presence felt. Anything else you see you picked up as these two teams kind of feel each other out?
Well, as I've mentioned, OBU has really done a great job of already placing the ball in different spots on the court, but there have been several times that the Lady Lions we've seen just kind of stared at the ball as it falls down to the court, and it's important that they pick up the energy. It seems that they're a little bit unfocused or distracted maybe in this first couple points of the game. And in this replay we see right here, Emily Smith is playing great defense, but a couple times we've had a ball fall middle of the court without anybody communicating. And then with that replay we just saw, an unforced error, ball hit out of bounds. We have to make sure that we focus on each and every detail, on fundamentals, because really that's all this game's going to come down to, is which team is playing more fundamentally sound volleyball.
And let's look to see when Presley gets herself back to the front line, if Lady Lions push her to the middle by protecting the lines. And I'm not sure where Sodich was aiming for that ball, but it went right down the net and no one there on the right side to pick that one up. So pretty easy point for OBU. 9-4 Presley. Smith will handle it. And there was anger in that kill shot from Sodich. The quick set, Sodich get on top of it and set it home.
She's always been able to really snap out. You see in this replay, she comes out of the middle, which is irregular for her, and she really puts the ball away right there. And it's so crucial that she's able to snap out of those first couple plays where she couldn't place the ball, but she comes out of a different position, throwing off the defense, and OBU wasn't able to block that middle hit.
And that Brooke Wayman with the kill shot, freshman from Enid, Oklahoma. Smith unable to dig it out. And how about Criddle? She makes her presence felt, the freshman from Lake Livingston, Texas. Mackenzie Criddle, you mentioned her in pregame, Devin.
Right, she's one of the players to watch. And on the front row right now for the Lady Lions, we've got number 8 in Criddle and number 14, Faith Harden. Two of our players that we talked about in pregame to watch. Strong.
There's that double block on the line, excuse me. And that is a good play defensively. But that block is going to go out of bounds. It'll be tipped off SAGU. And Lady Bison will stretch their lead to 5. Head coach Anna Howie, in her 6th year leading the Lady Bison from Shawnee, Oklahoma, has her team ranked number 8 in the land, undefeated in Sooner Athletic Conference play, looking to go 11-0 here on the road. As that ball sails almost near to the ceiling, it's going to be a free ball for the Lady Lions. And this time it's J.J. Abbott. You had 2 jumpers up in the air at the front line, Criddle and Abbott. Both jumped simultaneously to get the defense off the floor.
And we've got those 3 players on the front row that really do a great job of switching up who's jumping when and having 2 jumping at the same time, throwing out the defense. And now that we've got Cox on the front row, we've got powerful blocks just like that, with Abbott and Cox coming up together on that double block, shutting down OBU's offense and really getting momentum on their side of the court.
2 quick points in a row as Lady Bison will sub out 2 players. Gooney and Carrie Strong will take a seat. Emily Smith. Could have been a double contact call there on the serve receive, not called. Back set slide, rejected. Cox with the unusual set. In the middle, that's Cox and Abbott. And they're going to give that point, award that point to OBU.
We've got a net violation called on number 6 for the Lady Lions, J.J. Abbott. And again, it's so hard to see when we've got jousting at the net against the front row, who's in the net, and that ref on the downside court is really, really watching that net so close with players jumping out instead of up.
Caitlin Lucy from the left side. Faith Harden sends it home. Faith Harden from the left side. Take a look at this. Winds and fires. Right in the middle. No player there to pick it up. Briggs, the senior, puts the ball into play. Here's the All-American. And there it is right there. We called it down the line. That was this time Calverley and Cox defending the line.
And we saw they had that strong power block, but Calverley's hands a little too facing outside, causing that block to go out. The ball is back to OBU, but we're getting a good feel for the Lady Lions on where we need to place the block.
You like to see that, though. That's the right play, and pretty soon that could be a net violation there. That's going to play out eventually, should be in the favor of the Lady Lions. They keep blocking that down the line. Those points will eventually, like you say, we get their hands straight, they should fall back in. Net violation on the previous point will give Lions double-digit numbers, 13-10. Hanging tough here against number 8 team in the land and the All-American.
If we can take advantage of errors like that where we have an out-of-system play, the setter sprinting to get to the ball, and she makes that net violation. If we can take advantage here on every chance we have. Now we've got that blocking error right there by Sodich and Cox. Not close enough to the net. The block is there. They're both set correctly, just not close enough to the net, not pushing their arms hard enough over to make sure the block doesn't come in front of them on our side.
Got to have net penetration against these Lady Bison. And that one's going to be blocked out of bounds. I think it went off Lacey Herbert's block attempt. She's a freshman from Perryton, Texas, a 6-footer, but too much velocity from Cox's hit. Now here's Becca Dollar again. It barely, yeah, it's not going to clear the net. It didn't look good coming off, and it almost cleared, but it tapped the front and went down on the Lady Lions side. It'll be 15-11, OBU. And again, keep in mind, the average differential in the first match was just about 4.5 points per set. So right now, 4 points down, right on cue where they played last time, September 26th, up in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And hitting error up front from Criddle.
Just looked like a miscommunication there. We had really a tough play coming back over the net from OBU, really out of system for us, trying to just get the ball up and save it. And we tried to run that quick play, and Criddle and Calverley didn't quite have the chemistry there. But that's all right, because we've got Sodich with that down-the-line kill, giving the ball back over to the Lady Lions.
I think it went off Gooney's hands. It hit the line nevertheless. Here it is again. Sodich. I think it went right through the wickets of Gooney's hands. And that's going to be a net post violation, correct?
Right, it hit the antenna. That outside hitter pushed way, way far outside, trying to turn her shoulders far enough in to get the ball in the court. But it just grazed that antenna, letting Lady Lions have another shot.
And that did tip off a SAGU defender. It'll push the OBU lead back to 4. They're not comfortable right now. Can guarantee you that. They know the Lions are here to play. With that play, just like that, will keep the Lions right in this match. Just 4 down. That's really nothing at this point. You're still in the mid stages of a set.
And it's important against a team like OBU for the Lady Lions, even before we get to 20 points in this set, to be playing as close to error-free volleyball as we possibly can. And we've seen both teams make errors in the net with the setter.
What a play from Criddle. Off the middle of her arms, and now a dig attempt from Smith. They're going to say it hit the ground, but how about that dig out of the net from Criddle? Had to push her arms together and looked like it hit above her elbows.
She's always got to be ready as middle blockers coming off the net to get ready for an offensive play. You always have to be ready to get balls out of the net just like that, coming off speed.
Calverley, short set to Abbott. Handled by the back row. Dribbles over the net. Play on. And that was Catherine Roth tried to come with the slide from behind, but the set wasn't there.
That miscommunication from the setter wanting to run that quick in the middle, and when the middle hitter, number 13 for OBU, is already too far over, there's not really much you can do to save that play.
Too much velocity, too much court vision there from Roth as she makes amends from the previous play, although it wasn't really her fault. It was a poor set. Pushes the lead back to 4. You mentioned before the first one that gets to 20, that's when the other team has to start making some mistake-free volleyball happen. So we're 1 point away from that if OBU comes away with this point. Here's the All-American. Block, I believe, was tipped out of bounds. A timeout on the court. Coach Moore realizing that 20-point mark is important to talk things over, maybe just to slow down the Lady Bison.
Right, a timeout comes just as important for the team if they're making errors or seem to not be focused. It's just as important to call a timeout then as it is when the other team who's really raking in the points, and OBU right here already at 20, it's important trying to ice their server, ice their team as a whole. And OBU really is playing as a complete team. Their defense, their offense, everything is really syncing together well. And so this timeout is most likely an attempt to kind of ice that and shake it up a little bit.
First set back in their first match, September 26th, the Lions were blown out 25-14. So already showing improvement in this first set of match number 2. The Lions did win the second set in their first match, 25-20, and then dropping the last two, 25-17 and then 25-21. So we're back underway here. Let's see if the Lions can make that timeout count and get the ball back on their side, and they'll do it without doing a single thing but watching the ball soar right past them, and a huge serving error from OBU. Here comes the senior, Brittany Briggs, reliable server. Cox with the dump, just out of bounds. But they're going to call a tip.
We got a net violation
Or was it a net violation?
Net violation on Faith Harden for the Lady Lions.
Smith watched it past. It looks like she had it. She clapped her hands and then heard the whistle for the violation. Calverley to Harden. That one blocked just out of bounds. And how do you have 2-3 players sit and decide to watch that ball hit so close to the out-of-bound line? Yes, it did go out of bounds. How do you, as a player, gauge where that ball is going to land? That was about 2 inches from being in bounds, and not a single one of them went for it.
Well, the first priority is to make sure your toe is always on the outside line. That's how you really gauge where the ball's coming. If you can have your toe on that outside line and have your head looking up to see the ball above you, then that really gives you a judgment of when the ball is going to be out.
Well, several players are right there doing just that, and that was a great heads-up play from the Lions. Pull within 3 now, 21-18. They should be able to dig that one out. Sodich does. Calverley to Cox. Libero able to handle that. She'll send one over. That's Valerie Stetzer. Here comes Sodich. Winds and fires and delivers. And suddenly it's 21-19. How about this? Play from Sodich. Wow. She plays with a controlled fierceness that I just admire so much. As just someone who watches volleyball, you can just see the passion on her face. She never loses control of her emotions, but you can tell she amps herself up.
She really is able to direct that in a good way. Now, she doesn't play without emotion. She may not show it, or you know, when she's messing up, it may not be too obvious, but she's able to channel that into each swing.
Briggs unable to dig that one out. Moore and Gooney will check back in. Out goes Rokas and Aguilar for head coach Anna Howie. 22-19, still anyone's set. Here's a set and a comebacker. A two-hitter from Cox. She passed the ball to the setter, who got it right back to Cox. Delivers on the point. She'll take a quick seat. It's 22-20. Becca Dollar from the left side. Handled by Lucy. Here comes the All-American. Dump from Sodich. A good point brewing here. Sodich with the dump. Yes, sir! And the crowd comes to life as Sodich with an off-speed dump kill shot pulls the Lions to within 1. 22-21. Look out, folks. Lions right here knocking on the door. Oh, and no one gonna stop that one. And Presley said, I'm an All-American. Remember me.
It'll be fun to see Presley as she's on the front row. You see that fire that she just had on that play, and now she's at the back line and is able to deliver that with her serves as well. She's not only a powerhouse from the front, but is able to really get to that back line and serve and play great defense.
And there you had Smith and Kirk both frozen, as neither one thought it was their responsibility, and probably either could have got there, but both let it pass. So a tough point, 24-21 now, set point here. And it's going to hit Emily right in the face, ate her up. And so set number one, after pulling to within one, 22-21, the Lady Bison rattle off the last few points to claim set number one here at the Schaefer Center.
Which cheerleader?
But you got to know, the Lions have just communicated a message. They're here to play tonight.
As we saw in that last match, it wasn't really, you know, the Lady Lions didn't really fall behind too far in the beginning of the set, and we really had some excellent offensive plays there with Sodich and Cox down the line, and Sodich coming out of the middle, hitting things a little out of the ordinary for her, but delivering nonetheless. And seeing that from the Lady Lions really shows that their heads are in this game tonight, and they're here to win. They want to play as hard as they can, and they're really doing their best to come up against the strong offensive front line of OBU.
Well, let's take you now down courtside where Tyler Evans is standing by.
Thanks, guys. Here I am with a SAGU cheerleader of the game, Dion Burnett. Dion, SAGU has two major events coming up this week. The first one is Midnight Madness, one of SAGU's biggest athletic events. It's coming up this Thursday. Tell me, why should a student come?
Okay, well, it's going to be really fun this week. It starts at 10:30, but everybody should come early because we're going to have food, drinks. Everybody should come. We're going to have door prizes, and we're going to just get to see the face of the new Lion basketball team. So.
Now, on Friday, the cheerleaders are participating in the bonfire event. Give me a sneak peek of how this should turn out.
Okay, well, it's going to start at 9. It's going to be in between Bridges and Teeter. It's just going to be a huge bonfire. We're going to have hot chocolate. Everybody's just going to get to hang out, kind of get prepped up for the big game on Saturday. So.
Thank you so much, Dion. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Tyler.
Did I pronounce your name right?
Yeah,
I do want to welcome all of our viewers, perhaps watching in Shawnee, Oklahoma tonight, watching your Lady Bison in action, trying to win number 15 in a row. And I don't remember the last time they lost. We can probably look it up. Our statistician can let us know, but that's a long, long stretch, even in a volleyball season.
And especially to be on the road, so much of that. It's easy to have a home court advantage and to be winning games when you have your home crowd really cheering you on. But OBU has really done a great job of playing on the road and being able to play consistently at their high level without having that home crowd to really cheer for them. They've been in so many places where everyone's cheering against them, but they've still been able to pull it out and come out with those wins.
Also helps to have the All-American Kristen Presley in your team, who, as we mentioned in pregame, named the SAC Hitter of the Week already one time this year, 5 times the Player of the Week in the Sooner Athletic Conference, twice the entire NAIA Player of the Week, past 2,000 kills for her career. Looking at the stats in the first set, pretty big disparity in the hitting percentage, Devin. 444 for Oklahoma Baptist, just 270 for SAGU.
And you see in these stats that Kristen Presley is hitting right above 500, but Catherine Roth, number 13, their middle hitter, really running those slides consistently, hitting above 800 in that first set, giving OBU a 444 hitting average for that match with the Lady Lions right at 270. So we just need to get more sets. I think the problem is that we haven't gotten enough defense up to the net to where we can really set and run as consistently as OBU has been able to do.
Cox hitting 600, 3 out of 5. Faith Harden hitting 571. Sodich 333. So those numbers will need to improve tonight. And Lions just hanging in here. They showed promise in the first set, so we're underway here in set number 2. Smith puts it in play. Double block rejection from Harden and Cox. Here's a back row attack from Sodich. It's handled by Gooney. Calverley. A push from Harden. Not a good set. And that forced the Lady Bison, Brooke Wayman, to kind of arch back too much, put too much air to that ball, and that ball just sailed out of bounds.
You saw that fundamental right there, being able to get your body behind the ball and have the ball in front of you so you can really full swing through. And again, hitting it a little bit too deep there on that play. It's all about lining up your body with the ball and really knowing the timing of your set. That's why the chemistry between the setter and the hitter is so important.
No blocks at all for the first set for the Bison. Kind of unusual for them to have a whole set with no team blocks. One block for the Lady Lions. Defensive digs, 17 for OBU, just 12 for Southwestern. Assists, pretty even, 17-14 in favor of the Lady Bison. Total kills, 19-14 advantage as well for OBU. Did it tip a player? I believe it did. The ball went out of bounds, but it tipped one of the right side defenders. I think it may have been Calverley. And credit that kill to Catherine Roth. Now here's the lefty. Michaela Dyers puts the ball in play. And Dyers, I'll check that, not Dyers, that's Carrie Strong, unable to dig that one out. And that was Strong on the serve. 3-2, Southwestern with the early lead. Trying to knock off the #1 team in the conference, #8 team in the land. And what really is at this point, I think you'd have to admit, Devin, this is the game of the season right here. The most important game of the season for the Lions. They're on a 4-game winning streak in the conference. The best team you're going to see all season long in your home court. A chance to solidify 3rd place. A lot at stake here, and a chance to kind of validate your play the last 2 weeks.
Right, and it really gives the Lady Lions a chance to establish themselves in the conference, being their first season in the SAC. It's really important that they come in and establish themselves, and even if they may lose a game, they can still establish themselves by playing hard volleyball in this new conference. With OBU undefeated in conference play right now, putting up a set against them would really allow the Lady Lions to make their presence known in the conference.
Presley blocked out of bounds. Now that time she chose to go cross court, but Cox didn't have her hands set. They did set up for the down the line coverage with Calverley and Cox, but you got to credit Presley with seeing that shift happen.
Now, more than likely, Presley, if she does have that more solid hit down the line, but if she's an All-American player, she can really switch it up and hit hard no matter where she goes. So she may sense that they're trying to block that down the line shot and is starting to switch it up to be able to mess up our defense.
Nice play from Smith. Dig that one out. Sends it deep. Short, quick set. Could be a free ball. It will be for Lady Bison. Presley.
It's a net violation on Cox. Now she's running back and forth from antenna to antenna, trying to block wherever the OBU is sending the set, outside to Presley, or running a slide for number 13 OBU, and really Cox is having to go back and forth and back and forth. So that net violation comes from her constantly hustling back and forth down the net.
And good hustle from Kirk, but that dig finds the middle of the net and just drops harmlessly to the floor. That'll give OBU a 2-point lead, 6-4. Roth will put the ball in play and promptly serves right into the net. Becca Dollar will check in for Cox. Dollar, the senior from Brock, Texas, out of Brock High School, defensive specialist, consistent server. Kristen Presley, too much experience, too much vision up in the air. Finds that really a deep cross-court shot for the kill.
It seems that she has noticed that the Lady Lions have tried to take away lines, so she's sending everything cross-court now, and we're going to have to start adjusting our defense accordingly.
Nice play from the libero there, Valerie Stetzer. And that just eats up Smith. Kristen Presley now on all 8 cylinders, fired up, 2 kills in a row. Gooney. Harden gives it a kill attempt and a net violation. I think her chin hit the net first. Valerie Stetzer's weight just sent her right into the net, and kind of hard to play the limbo game when the net's that tall.
She's unable to stop that momentum. She was running all the way from the back deep part of the court, running up to try and set that ball, and she had momentum going into the net and was unable to stop her body.
Now, Presley now from the right side. We've seen here a lot of kill attacks on the left side and just misses that one. She did try to go down the line. Well defended. She took it too far wide. Easily out of bounds. And that's going to catch the line. How about that? We've not called her name much. Patricia Moura, a junior from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Puts it down. Jump serve from the All-American. Boy, that's a fast set. Talk about her serving ability as well. She's got some skills from behind the line.
And I mentioned in the last set that we saw her offense on the front row was so impressive, and then she really took that again to the back line, being able to do this impressive jump serve that has so much speed and downspin, really making it important for SAGU on their serve receive to be able to hold their platform so the ball doesn't move anywhere it's not supposed to go. And on plays like that, where you have an off-speed set into the middle of the court for number 19 on OBU to really hit that ball anywhere she can go, it's off-speed. The defense is still moving to their base positions. And you saw Kirk on that play going to the outside line, unable to stop, and the ball falls to her right, straight down to the court. And so she was unable to stop and really judge where that off-speed play was going.
It just looks like OBU has another gear that they can go to almost at will. And the first set, you know, they played SAGU tough, they pulled it out, and now it just seems to be like Presley's just taking the whole team on her shoulders, lifting her level of play, and they're slowly just going to a whole new gear. And we'll wait to see if the Lions can, like you say, adjust, maybe go away from the block of the line and try something different to mix things up here.
And even though OBU was unaware that they were going to be blocking down the line for her every single time, Presley has quickly caught on, and that is important for her. That's a great play on her part, being able to recognize that defense by the Lady Lions and switching it up, and each player has, like you said, really stepped up to her level of momentum change.
Presley's hometown, we mentioned Mansfield. That's about 25 minutes away from Waxahachie, not that far at all. So a bit of a homecoming for Presley as she now resides in Shawnee, Oklahoma during the year, but she probably has some family in town, not that far away from home. Here's Presley again with that powerful serve. Smith able to pull it out. Sodich winds and fires, and not enough net penetration from the double combo block attempt from Wayman and Herbert. That'll give Lady Lions their 8th point, 12-8. We're back to that 4 or 5 point cushion. If OBU just wants to maintain that lead and push it from here, they should be just fine. Good defense, recovery from the Lions. Nice dig. Abbott with the push. Really impressed also with the play of Brooke Wayman, the last few points here, number 17 for Lady Bisons. And it looks like Smith's feet weren't quite set to square up because she had a beat on it, but the ball tailed off to the right.
You saw it hit sort of off of her upper right arm. She wasn't really there, her arms out far enough to be able to get that ball up, and that's why it hit off the top of her arm, going to where Calverley and Sodich were chasing after her.
And I'm not sure if Stetzer just found the spot or if that was Harden and Smith not communicating, but it just seemed like it was too easy for that ball to hit the ground. It wasn't that much velocity. Easy point for OBU. And this time it's Criddle putting that one home. She'll take a seat, as does Becca Dollar. Cox will check back in. 14-9. 5 point lead down the middle, and sending it home is Patricia Moura. She's the Brazilian. Looked like that may have been a back row attack.
She was coming from the back row, a little further, a different look for her. She is front row here, but she was a little off center, too far back off the 10-foot line to come all the way up to the net and hit. So it looked like a back row attack, but she's on the front row, which enables her to jump in front of the 10-foot line and have a little bit more advantage on where she places the ball there.
The lefty puts it in play. That's strong. Back row attack from Presley. Looked like an off speed, like she did something with her hand to put a weird spin on that ball that kind of froze the defenders. Right as she was in the air, if you notice, she dropped her elbow down, which as a defensive player would be a sure sign of an off-speed attack. And that way the ball's not coming straight down. She's not able to make high contact. And there with Cox coming up on the block right there as the defense from OBU is trying to get the ball back over. Cox is waiting there. You see right here, you've got great defense on both teams, and Cox is just there waiting at the net. And as a middle blocker, being able to see the ball coming over and having good depth perception on where the ball is going to be, Cox was right there able to jump up and swipe it straight to the right side of the court. The Bisons will come away with that point. There was possibly a net violation in the middle of all that. Really great play, though, from Cox. Sodich with a deep kill attempt, dug out by Presley. Cox now, or Calverley now, able to save that one. And here comes a slide. Great defense from Sodich into the net. Calverley keeps it alive. Now Abbott. And there's Wayman again. And good defense right in the middle. Believe that was Roth. It was Catherine Roth. Great interior defense. She's a sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which prompts a timeout on the floor. Coach Moore needs to talk it over. His team down by 8. And yeah, it's about time to say, settle down. We're not out of this match yet. And it's really important here in this point in the match where the Lady Lions are really putting all they have into each play, which is causing them to be tired, and OBU is doing the same thing. So right now it's important, even more so than normal, for both teams really to be focusing on fundamentals and really getting each foot in right position, each hand in right position, and shoulders faced directly where they need to go, or the ball's going to start going outside, wide, and deep because they're tired. Each team is fatigued, working hard in these sets. So it's important to really focus on getting all the fundamentals solidified on both sides of the net. Be sure to follow us on the social media sites, the popular ones. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube channel. Of course, archive all the games on SAGU.tv. Nice heads-up play there from the Lions as they come out of that timeout with the point. And Brittany Briggs will try to pull the Lions within 6. Need to go on about a 5 or 6 point run here, don't you think, Devin, just to kind of pull yourself back in this match? Right, before we get to that 20-point mark, it'd be nice to have a little bit more of a cushion. And double contact called near the net. We'll give the Lady Bisons the ball and the point. 19-11. And talk about that play that we just saw Presley do. She went like she was going to wind and fire from the back row, then stop, jump straight up in the air, and did this long push. If you notice, she was judging where she was on the court. If you're in the back row and you get a set, if you jump in front of the 10-foot line, then you get a call from the ref, and that's against the rules, jumping from the back row in front of that 10-foot line. So she has to be aware of where she is on the court, and that's what she did last minute, made that change up because she was unable to jump. Alyssa Kirk will check in for Hardin. Alyssa Kirk from Pataskala, Ohio. She's a senior. Sodich up front. Cox and Calverley, combo block. And it pays off. The combo block protecting the line results in a point for the Lady Lions. 2013, in come 2 subs for the Bison. It's going to be Rokas and Aguilar. Aguilar, junior from Caracas, Venezuela. And Rokas, a junior from Ennis, Texas. And too much down the middle from Catherine Roth, sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, out of Bishop Kelly High School. Really impressed with the hitters, that they just keep coming in waves from OBU. Presley's not alone. And if you're the Lady Lions, will take that point, a little off-speed roll.
And Sodich has been a powerhouse in this game, coming from the middle mostly we see, but on that play coming from the outside, she was unable to really get in sync with that set and unable to line up her body correctly. So that's where that off-speed roll shot came from.
And that kill shot just right into the midsection of Brittany Briggs, and she just kind of threw her hands in frustration, like telling her teammates, I tried. Couldn't pull it out.
Sometimes when a ball's coming that quickly to you, you just have to try and put your hands up to protect as much as you can. And here, Rob, we're at 22-15 in favor of OBU, and it's error-free volleyball time for both sides of the court. Because if Lady Lions make an error, then that pushes OBU closer to that winning this set, and if SAGU makes an error, then it pushes OBU to have a little more pressure.
And that's an unfortunate call. It is a net violation against Lady Lions. That ball landed literally halfway on the Lions side and halfway on the Bison side, and Criddle got caught up in there trying to push it back, and net violation called. It could probably be called either way, to be honest, but Criddle gets the call against her, pushes the lead back to 8, 2 points from set number 2, and now just 1 point as the Lady Bison now flexing their muscle, reminding everyone in the gym they're the number 8 team in the land. Out now to a 9-point lead, and you're at absolute mistake-free volleyball if you're the Lady Lions, and that barely misses. Again, the court awareness from Alyssa Kirk to just back out at the last possible moment keeps this set number 2 alive, and Sodich will send it into play. And that's going to do it. Off Smith's hands. Set number 2 goes to the Lady Bison, 25-16, your final. And what do you see in this set number 2, Devin? It looks like we talked about, there's just another level, another gear that the Lady Bisons can seem to just go to. Is that what you saw as well, the set number 2?
Yes, it really does seem that the Lady Bison are really able to finish each play, and they don't really seem like they're breathing heavily, or they're really exhausted. Now, they've been playing hard, and the Lady Lions have been putting up a good fight for them, but it seems that they're just going to be able to continue as much as they need to complete this set. And the Lady Lions are going to have to really dig deep and find where they can keep going in this match.
Absolutely. Well, let's take you down now to our courtside reporter, Tyler Evans. Tyler.
Thanks, guys. Here I am with SAGU student and fan Elzar Garza. Elzar, tell me, you told me that you've been to Midnight Madness several times. What do you love most about it?
Well, I just enjoy coming and representing for our school and just cheering on our guys. We got the best basketball team in the nation, so we come to cheer them on and have some fun. And I'm sure we're going to win the championship this year, so it's going to be great.
Now, you have major involvement with Mission 10 here at SAGU. Tell us about the role you have.
I'm on the Mission 10 committee where I train the mission trip leaders. I'm just constantly on top of training them and just helping them grow as leaders and making sure they have everything ready for their trips this summer.
Thank you so much, Elzar, and enjoy the game. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Elazar. Great leader on the campus here at SAGU. Love his spirit, ministry service. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, so Devin, your head coach, Hank Moore, you're down 2-0. You played well the first set, losing by 4. The second set, you lost by 9. What adjustments do you make knowing you've got to find a way somehow to slow down Presley?
Well, coming into this match, we knew that the Lady Lions were going to be blocking down the line against Presley, and now we've seen that she's made an adjustment on her own of hitting deep cross court. So what we're going to have to do, I think, is make an even split on the block, especially with number 1 for OBU being able to come from that right side hitting down the line. We'll have to make an adjustment on her as well and really block half and half court and down the line, because they're really hitting everywhere, and there's no one place that we can really block. So it'll really be up to Cox in this match to be able to come up at the net and be there consistently every time. With these rallies going longer, it'll be important that she comes up and is ready to block each and every time.
And you see upcoming games here for the volleyball team. They'll play John Brown away. The 26th will have the next home game. Oklahoma City will be in town. They're in the upper tier of the Sooner Athletic Conference. That's a 5 p.m. start. And then Wayland Baptist and Texas Wesleyan wrap up the season for the Lady Lions. Again, a win tonight or a St. Gregory's loss would essentially secure a top 6 spot for Lady Lions, but they want to maintain that 3rd place spot to be able to play whatever team finishes 6th, which could be at this point, if the season ended today, would be John Brown University. Set number 2 underway. Battle at the net. Cox fighting. Handled by Sodich in the back. Harden from the left side. Cross court. Bison return. And that block tip will find the ground. Sodich gave it a run. First point of set 3 will go to the Lady Bison.
And you see in these stats that we've got right here for the second set, the hitting percentages, again, we've got OBU above 300, hitting 368, with SAGU just at 94. And that really shows what I was mentioning in between second and third set of OBU being able to finish each play and really play above and beyond even just defense, being able to complete each play and play offense. Above them being tired and putting in effort everywhere else on the court, they've got to make that a priority.
Nice short set, though, handled by Lady Lions. It's going to run deep. It does sail deep. And Lady Lions on the board. 2 blocks, 2 team blocks in the set number 2 for OBU, just 1 for Southwestern. Total digs pretty close, 17-13 in favor of OBU. Assists is a big one here, Devin, 16-6. Again, in favor of the Lady Bison, and total kills is where it really stands out, 19-7.
And you see there's not, they're really on both sides, there's not a difference in defense, and SAGU is playing great defense against OBU, but OBU has a significantly higher number of assists in offensive plays.
And that kill shot is ruled just out of bounds. Cox thought she had it. She was able to actually pass that ball in the first attempt back to the setter and was able to hit the 3rd ball. She thought she had a kill. Sails just out of bounds. 4-0. Lady Bison. And that's a huge miscommunication there again from Sodich and Smith looked like she was all out of sorts. And I think she may have even hit Sodich on the way down, and that's going to give Hank more off his feet. He wants to talk things over. Not liking how this set number 3 has begun here for Lady Lions, already down 5-0 early. Looking at the standings, there they are, 10-0, 24-4 overall. Look at that 6 and 7 spot. There's a 3-game gap. So if St. Gregory's loses tonight against Oklahoma City, that will essentially lock in your top 6 teams. So it's just a matter of where SAGU plays. If they maintain 3rd place, they'll likely play potentially John Brown, although there's plenty of games left. If they drop to 4th, they'll probably play either Oklahoma City or Texas Wesleyan. Either one of those teams are going to be tough. But by finishing 3rd, as opposed to 4th or 5th, I think you avoid playing Oklahoma Baptist until you reach the final. I may be incorrect about that, but I think that's correct. If you're the 3rd seed, you wouldn't play the 1 seed unless you had to in the final game.
And if you can put off playing a #1 team that's undefeated in conference right now, you can have enough time to get momentum on your team with going further and further in postseason. When really any team can win on any given day, and that's really important, especially in that final match.
And the freshman, Faith Harden, sends that one packing. Nice cross-court winner from the freshman from Midlothian High School. That's even closer than Mansfield. Quite a few local products here on the court tonight here in Waxahachie, the Schaefer Center. Here's Brittany Briggs. Good deep serve to Lucy. It's going to be a free ball. Cox will send it over. Slide, kill shot attempt, and a whistle and a double contact called against the Lady Lions. So what was developing into a pretty good point ended with a fizz. Backcourt or slide, back set to Cox. And OBU will come away with that. As the block landed in bounds.
On a play like that, it's really coming down to the Lady Lions being low enough on defense when they've got OBU. It's such a strong block. And again, right there in that play, we've got everyone surrounding the block, covering where they're supposed to, but they're just not down, not low enough in their stance, getting ready to dig the ball up. Yeah. And that's what's going to make the difference here, is that effort in staying low constantly, being able to be there and in the position to move quickly enough to get the ball up off the block.
Alyssa Kirk set to put the ball in play. 8-2, your score. In set number 3, Lady Bison lead it 2-0. Nice dig from Smith. Off-speed cross-court attempt from Sodich. That one handled by Kirk, and Sodich, cross-court winner, eats up the libero. I think also Presley was there to try to help out, but Sodich sends it down. Nice low serve from Kirk. And looks like when the players just overran that pass, that was Lacey Herbert.
And not being able to get the ball out of the net quick enough to have it a high enough pass for someone to make a play, that really makes it difficult for that third touch to get over the net. And that's what happened there in that play. The ball wasn't up high enough for someone to make an effort.
Yeah, I like that play. Right down the middle, combo block. Cox and company send that one to the left. It was going to land in bounds. Lady Bison had to dig it out, and it stayed low, hit the ground. 5 points now for Lady Lions, trailed just by 3. And another combo rejection from Calverley and Cox. Did you see who got a handle on that one? Was that Cox?
I think it was a combo. Calverley sets that block. She's up there getting ready to block with Cox. And you see in this replay, you've got both of them up at the net consistently with Calverley setting the block. And here we've got them both up, both arms high enough above the net to block. I think they both had an equal role in that block.
Great play from SAGU. And that one's going to be tipped out of bounds. It was Calverley and Cox again in the right position, but this time the ball went off the hand. I think it went off the hand of Cox's right hand. Sails out of bounds, 9-6. Cox with a rare set. Back to Kirk. Bison in trouble. And a net violation and a failure to get the ball over to 3. Either way, it's going to be point for the Lady Lions. They'll take it either way they can get it. At this point, Cox will take a quick seat. Criddle back in the game.
And we've got Sodich here cleaning up the sweat from OBU on their side of the court. When players come under the net like that, it's so dangerous, having people jumping at the front constantly and not always looking at the ground. And it's really easy for a player to jump up and land on top of someone if they're not careful.
A slide is successful. Lacey Herbert The middle blocker freshman, the 6-footer from Perryton High School here in the Lone Star State, pushes the lead back to 3. This is that point in the match where you just want to erase that 3-point lead and make it a 3-point or a disadvantage, make it a 3-point lead yourself. That'll help things out. Sodich found the back left corner or back left middle. No one there to defend it. It's 10-8. Calverley put the ball into play. Libero handles that one. Back set slide. Cox sends it back over on a defensive move. Nice play from Smith. Punch. Criddle gets in on the action. Into the net. OBU, 3 or 4 players on the ground, and the Lions come away with the point.
And we've got the momentum now on our side. You see plays like that where we're really fighting hard, and everybody is making an effort, and you've got players falling all over the court on both sides. That really helps with the momentum of the match.
At this point, let's say if the Lions are able to come back and win set 3 and push it to 4 sets, as you see this replay here, that one sails out of bounds easily. If the Lions are able to push this to 4 sets and still lose the match, therefore losing both matches in the season 3-1, is there any victory that Coach Moore can play out of that? Hey, gals, at least we took 1 set twice from a big team, or is it just going to be just a bad taste in your mouth at this point?
Well, obviously, it's good to be able to take at least a set from a team like this who's undefeated in conference. It helps your record, but not only that, it lets you know that you're working hard in those matches, which is so important. If you're going up against a team that's #1 in the conference, #8 in all of the teams in the nation, then you have to really take what you can get from each match, and it's much better to be able to take a set and know that you fought hard than to just lose 3-game sweep and have nothing to show for it.
Good net penetration there from the right side. That combo block will give the point to Lady Bison. Stetzer, the libero, will put the ball into play. Lead 12-11. Was tied a moment ago, 11 apiece. Nice low serve. Kirk able to dig it out. Here's Sodich. Nice jump as she jumped to her left, but hit the ball to her right, away from her body.
You saw a combination there. Her body was moving to the left, her shoulders were facing the right, and she also partnered that with a switch of her wrist, which allowed that ball to really go where exactly she was wanting, far to the right side of the court, even though her weight was moving in the air to the opposite side of where the ball went.
And now the Lady Lions, I believe, have taken their first lead of any of the 3 sets we've played here, 13-12. And nice court awareness from Shekinah Sharp as that ball just missed by a few inches. Gives the ball back over to the green and white. OBU, 13 apiece. Criddle from the middle. Becca. Yeah, that was actually the second lead. They were up 11-10 a few moments ago. Now, then back 13-12 now. So that was their second lead, but now they're trailed by 1. The left-hander puts the ball into play. That might be 4. Was that the 4th hit or just?
All that was, as you see on the front row between Criddle and Hardin, you have Criddle stepping in trying to get that set up to Hardin, and Hardin was unable to come in the right spot and really adjust to that set, causing the ball to fall short on our side.
Cox will come back in. Criddle will take a seat. Dollar also checks back out. Smith back in. Smith, nice defense. Cox from the middle. Stetzer able to bring it back. Could be over the antenna. Was that a net violation?
The ref, it looked like a couple of different things in that play, but the ref solidified that call with a double contact for OBU.
Looks like Smith was there and Sodich stepped in front of her. Did you think that Smith had position to dig that one out?
Well, no matter who's there, it's all about communication and being vocal, because if you've got two players that are equally in position to dig that ball, you have to really have communication there, one calling the other off of the ball, so that when you have two people going at the same time, the ball is rarely going to go where it needs to. So if you have one player that's not vocal enough, then you have a mistake like that, where one makes contact but not in the right way.
Cox will send a free ball over. Short set, back set slide to Roth. Lions keep it alive. And that back row kill attempt from Sodich will miss by about 2 feet. Sodich not happy with that point at all. Lions now fall down, or drop to 2 points away. 2 points down, 17-15. Your score is an easy serve there. Could be Cox. No, it's going to be Abbott. From the right side, Cox jumped as well, but Abbott took it. Caught the Lady Bison off guard, 17-16. I prefer this 1 point disadvantage versus that 4 or 5. You feel like you're right in here at this point.
Especially getting into the end of this set, we've got a much better cushion to be able to pull ahead than if we're trying to make up for that 4-point deficit. Now we're right neck and neck with OBU, and we're able to get a better chance at pulling ahead.
Calverley and Cox combo penetration not quite good enough, although credit the fine play from the Lady Bison on the front line. Just a lot of velocity behind those kill shots puts Lady Bison back up by 2. Harden tipped away by 2 Lady Bisons, and it went further away from the net every time it was hit. And lead back to just 1 with Kirk. Here's the shot. Off 1, off 2. Lady Bison's never really had a chance to bring that one in. Here's Presley. She's been quiet the last few moments, but she checks back in and puts the Lady Bisons back on the board, back up to 2 points.
A lot of pressure is falling on the back row here for the Lady Lions, because they're responsible for filling in the hole on the block, but they also have to be aware, and plays like that just happen against Presley, hitting off the block. They have to be able to judge the off speed off the tip there, and being able to step in and cover that hole as well. So a lot is falling on their shoulders in this match.
In that last play, Presley tried to send that ball right down the middle. You had the combo from Cox, and I think it was Calverley, and Cox got a hand on it, but it deflected out of bounds easily. So Presley really showing her intelligence on the court, adjusting her play. Like you said, she adapted. It's just a cat and mouse game, and just the overall skill of Presley seems to be giving them just that slightest edge right now.
And we would expect nothing less from an All-American player. That All-American status really shows that she's an all-around player. She can play offense, she can play defense, and she can play the game with her mind. Not only physically, she's there mentally and is able to adjust and see where she needs to place.
Upcoming football back in action. It's homecoming weekend as Oklahoma Panhandle State University Aggies in town to take on the Lions. 2 p.m. is your kickoff. You can watch all the action right here. SAGU.TV on the SAGU Sports Network from Lumpkin Stadium here in Waxahachie. And that combo block successful as that ball deflected right down the line, kind of caught Cox off guard.
And you saw her there. She's in position, but again, like we saw in the last set where the Lady Lions are unable to be down low enough to get the ball off the block. The same thing just happened there with all the players in the correct spot and defensively, just not down low enough in position to step under and move quickly enough to get that ball out from the block.
And that was Presley playing defense. You just mentioned her playing both sides of the ball well. She did right there. She combo blocked that one with Herbert. Nice play there from Lady Lions, though. With the tip right in the middle of the court.
You see in this replay, Sodich does the same thing, being able to adjust. She could have easily hit the ball full speed there, but saw that center court wide open and adjusted her elbow and her shoulder to drop that tip straight in the middle.
A solo block from Sodich to keep this point alive. Sodich now on offense with the tip. Big point Bruin. Sodich again. Lady Bison able to pull it together. Now here's the All-American. Sodich tried number 3. Easily handled by OBU. There's the dump. Lions right there. Sodich attempt number 4. It eats up the libero Stetzer. And fourth and finally, Sodich hits pay dirt.
And that consistency is shown by Sodich right there to be able to hit a roll shot, throw a tip, and then finally slam the ball down the side of the court. That shows that she is in excellent shape and is able to get up and hit the ball each time Calverley pushes the set outside to her. She's really a go-to player.
And off Criddle and Calverley's combo block, and now you're at that point where mistake-free is where you're at. You're 23-19. You really can't make any more mistakes. You're 4 points down. You're not out of the set, but you've really got to get the ball back and run off 3-4 in a row, at least tie it up at 23, and see where you go from there. Sodich in the middle. Wow, nice heads-up play. Took that, pulled the speed off, saw the whole back left corner wide open.
And that really threw off the defense for OBU because Sodich's shoulders were facing the right side of the court, and she really changed the whole direction of the ball just in the flick of a wrist.
Right smack in the middle of the court. No one there to pick it up, and it is set point and match point here at the Schaefer Center. OBU, 4-point advantage. Lions, last hope right here. Sodich sends it home. She says, let's play one more.
In this replay, you see everything was really, really great on this play. Great pass.
Look at the velocity on that arm.
And Sodich coming from all the way back behind the 10-foot line on that approach.
Out of rejection, and it hits the court. And the Lions are still alive. Patricia Mora tried to put it away as she took the back set slide move, but right there with the combo block, no one there on the right side of the court. It is 24-22. This could be a free ball. It will be a free ball. Criddle to Calverley to Harden. And that'll end it right there as the ball comes right back to Harden. She's unable to fish it out, and OBU will come away with another sweep in their wonderful run here, 25-22. Your final score here in set number 3. By far the best set we played. Really put, I think, a little scare in OBU. They had to really straighten things up the last 3-4 minutes.
And I don't really think the Lady Lions have anything to hang their heads about, especially in that last set, being able to play to the very, very last point, coming back from that deficit, ending at 22. You see in that last, even in the second set to the third set, the difference there, they really pushed that effort to the very, very last point and played as hard as they could.
We'll take a quick commercial break, be right back with some final thoughts here. You've been watching volleyball here at the SAGU Sports Network. So Lady Lions drop a tough one here tonight at the Schaefer Center. We knew it would be tough, and OBU proved why they're the number 8 team in the land. They'll run their winning streak to 15 straight, improve to 11-0 in conference play. You see the final scores there again, 21, 16, and 22. SAGU played well, but just not good enough on any other night. That could have been good enough to beat a team like maybe a John Brown, maybe an Oklahoma City, maybe Texas Wesleyan. But tonight against OBU, just too much Presley, too much conditioning. You talked about that as well. They're just in a really good shape physically, athletically, and very disciplined team.
That fact that they're in such great shape really shows in how they're able to finish each play. Like we've mentioned in the stats in between each set, both teams are playing great defense in that match, but the finishing of the points was really all on OBU's side because they're able to consistently get outside far enough, get back behind the 10-foot line, get in position to run a good offensive play and complete full swing and full power each time without having to huff and puff trying to get there and really make those plays happen.
Lions will drop to 14-12 on the season, still above 500 at 7-5 in conference play. The battle now is for third place, Devin. You've got 2 other teams with 4 losses, as you see here. The latest updated after today's game, 7-5. So SAGU will drop to at least 4th or 5th place.
Oklahoma City if they do beat St. Gregory's, they will assume the 3rd position. We'll wait to see how Texas Wesleyan plays in their next game. So the battle is for 3rd place, essentially, to see who's going to have to play the 6th place team. So, and what's interesting is that SAGU is going to play all those top teams in their last 4 matches. So their next match is against John Brown in Arkansas. It's an away game. That's on the 26th. We'll be back here in the SAGU Sports Network to bring you the game against Oklahoma City. That's a 5 p.m. start. And then in November, just 2 games. On the November 2nd, Wayland Baptist on the road. That's a tough match right there against number 17 team in the land. And then we end up with our local arch rival at Texas Wesleyan, 7 p.m. So tough, 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 and tough all the way home.
We've got SAGU really needing to finish strong here and show how much fight they have inside of them in this ending of their season. And if they can really pull out and give all they've got on those last games, even if they're hard teams, it's really going to be interesting to see how much they want to win and how much they're willing to put into each and every game.
Well, for our executive producer, John Cookman, our amazing student crew, my partner, Devin Gwines, this is Rob Price saying you've been watching the SAGU Sports Network. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace.